I never thought I'd wake up in my mother's skin, staring at my own reflection in her gold-rimmed bathroom mirror, her Botox-smooth forehead creasing with my rage. The swap happened on her 50th birthday, right after she toasted to starting fresh without the baggage, her eyes sliding past me like I was yesterday's trash. By dawn, I'd forged the deeds, the trusts, the custody papers, everything to erase Emma from her perfect life, just as she'd erased me from hers 10 years ago when she pinned her embezzlement on a scared 16-year-old kid who trusted her more than God. The champagne flute shattered against the marble countertop like a gunshot in that sterile McMansion kitchen, the kind of place where dreams go to die under recessed LED lights. It was August 15th, Mom's big 5-0, and the party's elite crowd, hedge fund bros in slim-fit suits, Botox socialites clutching their Birkins like life rafts, didn't even flinch. They were too busy laughing at Dad's toast about reinventing ourselves in the Windy City, as if Chicago's skyline wasn't built on the bones of suckers like me. I stood there in the corner, nursing a flat seltzer, my thrift store dress itching against skin that still felt raw from the last panic attack. Emma Hargrove, 26, invisible daughter, the family black sheep who'd clawed her way through community college on waitressing tips, while Mom climbed the corporate ladder on my silence. 10 years ago, she'd looked me dead in the eye, her manicured nails digging into my arm, and whispered, "You love me, don't you, baby? Then sign this. It's just a formality." The formality was a confession to wire fraud, her sticky fingers in the firm's pension pot, and I'd signed because blood's thicker than ink, right? Except blood betrays you every time. That night, as the caterers cleared crystal flutes and Dad, bless his golf-obsessed heart, stumbled off to the guest suite, Mom pulled me aside into her walk-in closet, the air thick with Chanel No. 5 and unspoken rot. "Emma," she said, her voice that honeyed Midwestern drawl that could sell ice to Eskimos, "this party's for new beginnings. Why drag the past into it?" Her eyes, ice blue like mine but sharper, flicked to the door. "You know, on my birthday, I always wish for one thing, to wake up unburdened. Free." I laughed, bitter as black coffee. "Unburdened? Like you were when you let me rot in juvie for your mistake? Or when you testified that I was troubled, so the judge threw the book at me?" The words hung there, toxic as the dry-cleaning fumes. She'd built her empire on my ruin. Senior VP at Sterling Financial, board seats, TEDx talks on resilient motherhood. Me? I'd been piecing together a life in the shadows, bartending at a dive in Wicker Park, dodging warrants that still popped up like ghosts because her lawyers buried the appeal. She sighed, theatrical, adjusting her diamond studs. "Emma, darling, that was a lifetime ago. You've got to let it go. Or better yet, go. Start your own life. Isn't that what you want?" Her smile was a scalpel, slicing away any guilt. And in that moment, something snapped, a frayed wire in my brain sparking wild. I'd read about it in one of those late-night Reddit rabbit holes. Experimental neurotech from a black market lab in the loop, body swaps for the ultra-rich dodging death or divorce. I'd saved for months, not for therapy, but for this, a vial of nanotech serum, promised to rewrite your reality for 72 hours. Revenge tourism, they called it. I called it justice. "Make a wish, Mom," I said, pulling the slim injector from my clutch, the one disguised as a lipstick tube. Her eyes widened, but curiosity, that fatal flaw of the powerful, kept her from screaming. "What the hell is?" I jabbed it into her neck before she could finish, the hiss barely audible over the distant hum of the dishwasher. My dose was already pumping through my veins from earlier, hidden in the seltzer bubbles. The world tilted, colors bleeding like watercolor on wet paper, and then, nothing. Blackout. I came to on silk sheets that smelled of lavender and lies, my hands, her hands, fluttering up to a face that felt wrong, too taut, too perfect. The mirror confirmed it. Victoria Hargrove stared back, 50 and flawless, her ash-blonde bob-framing eyes that were mine, but not. Panic clawed my throat, but I swallowed it down. This was the plan. 72 hours to dismantle her kingdom from the inside. Make her wish come true in the cruelest way, by becoming the ghost in her machine. First things first, the paperwork. I booted up her MacBook, password a pathetic Victoria 50, vanity's the thief of security, and dove into the encrypted drives. There it was, the skeleton key to her empire. Digital deeds to the Gold Coast condo, the Hamptons getaway, the offshore trust she'd funneled my fraud money into. But the real gem? The custody file for my little brother, Tommy, 8 years old, the golden child she'd kept while I languished. She'd filed papers years ago, painting me as unfit, a danger to his stability. Lies, all of it. Tommy was the only light in this mess, shipped off to boarding school like a parcel to forget. My fingers, her elegant, ringed fingers, flew across the keys. Forged signatures, time-stamped backdates, a quiet email to her shark of a lawyer. Proceeding with the full asset transfer to Emma Hargrove as discussed. Effective immediately. Attached scans of my ID, her ID now, but I'd lifted her passport photo weeks ago. By 3 a.m., it was done. The condo was mine, the trusts rerouted, Tommy's guardianship flipped back to me pending reconciliation. She'd wake up. If she woke up, in my cramped studio, staring at eviction notices I'd prepped, her life evicted from its throne. But as dawn crept in, gray and unforgiving over Lake Michigan, doubt slithered in. This wasn't just revenge, it was erasure. What if the swap stuck? What if Tommy hated the sister who'd vanished into the system? Mom's phone buzzed. Dad, hungover and clueless. Morning, Vic, coffee? I typed back in her clipped style. Out early. Board meeting. Lies upon lies. The nanotech clock was ticking, 68 hours left. I slipped into her walk-in, trading my rags for a power suit, tailored wool, Louboutins that pinched like accusations. The mirror lied again. I looked invincible, the queen of sterling financial. But inside, Emma screamed. Time to storm the castle. Down in the kitchen, the caterers had left remnants of excess. Half-eaten caviar, flutes crusted with dried bubbly. I poured coffee, black as my mood, and scrolled her inbox. Invites to galas, whispers from lovers, plural. Dad was window dressing. Her real affairs were with power, men in boardrooms who smelled opportunity like blood. One email caught my eye. From Harlan Crow, the firm's shadowy chairman, subject, the ledger, handle with care. Harlan. The name alone curdled my stolen stomach. He was the puppet master, the one who'd coached Mom through the fraud, then thrown her, us, under the bus when the feds sniffed too close. Pin it on the kid. His notes read, leaked years later in my appeal. He'd risen since, a titan of Wall Street with a penthouse that dwarfed ours and a reputation for burying bodies in spreadsheets. If Mom was the blade, Harlan was the hand wielding it. I forwarded the email to myself, my real self, trapped somewhere in this nightmare, and hit reply. Understood. Meeting you at the club, noon? Risky, but necessary. To unravel her, I needed him. The drive to Oak Brook in her sleek Audi was a blur of expressway rage and radio static. Some classic rock station crooning Springsteen about ghosts in the heartland. Chicago sprawled around me, all grit and gloss. A city that chews up dreamers and spits out husks. I fit right in now. Victoria Hargrove, untouchable. The club was old money incarnate. Mahogany panels, cigar haze, waiters in penguin suits gliding like sharks. Harlan waited at a corner booth, silver fox with a Rolex that screamed, I own you. His eyes lit up when he saw me. Her, predatory. Vic, darling. You look renewed. I slid in, channeling her flirt, legs crossed just so. Harlan, the ledger, it's clean. He leaned in, breath scotch soured. Cleaner than your conscience. But that loose end from a decade back? The girl? My heart. Her heart, stuttered. Emma? Buried. Not deep enough. Whispers in the press. We tie it off, or it unravels us both. His hand brushed mine, possessive. I fought the urge to shatter his glass over his skull. Instead, I smiled, Victoria's smile, and whispered, consider it done. As we lunched on overpriced salads, plotting my own daughter's demise, the weight settled. This swap wasn't just theft, it was possession. And Harlan? He was the devil I hadn't bargained for. Tick-tock, 62 hours. The real fun was just starting. Harlan's driver dropped me at the office tower on Michigan Avenue, the magnificent mile mocking me with its parade of tourists clutching shopping bags like talismans against the chaos. Sterling Financial occupied the top 5 floors, glass walls offering a god's-eye view of the Loop's ant trail traffic. I badged in, Victoria's fob, seamless, and rode the express elevator, stomach churning like the L train below. The bullpen hummed. Analysts in hoodies hunched over Bloomberg terminals, phones bleeding like wounded animals. They nodded as I passed. Morning, Ms. Hargrove. Deference laced with fear. Mom had cultivated that, a queen bee sting wrapped in mentorship. Her corner office was a shrine to ambition, framed Forbes clippings, a Lucide Award for Women in Finance, and that damned family photo. Us three, pre-fraud, smiling like idiots at Navy Pier. I locked the door, drew the blinds, and cracked the safe. Inside, the ledger, a leather-bound relic Harlan had mentioned, pages thick with codes and transfers. Flipping through, the betrayal bloomed fresh, entries dated to my juvie stint. Mom's initials next to siphoned millions, Harlan's approving scrawl. But deeper, a hidden tab, contingency EH. My initials. Notes on payoffs to witnesses, doctored psych evals labeling me sociopathic tendencies. She'd planned my fall from the start, grooming me as the patsy while she and Harlan built their empire on stolen retirements. Rage boiled, hot as the radiator clanging in the corner. I scanned it all to a burner drive, emailing chunks to a journalist contact from my bartending days, a scrappy podcaster who'd once bought me shots while grilling on white-collar crime. Anonymous source, the subject read, "The Hargrove scandal, daughter framed? Let the vultures circle." But secrets breed more secrets. Tucked in the safe's false bottom, a USB drive, unlabeled. Plugging it in, files unfolded like a house of cards. Photos of me, post-juvie, strung out on bad nights. Audio clips of Mom coaching Tommy to forget your sister, she's not family anymore. And then, the gut punch, a paternity test. Tommy wasn't Dad's, or mine by blood. Harlan's son, conceived in some boardroom tryst, the golden child, a Trojan horse for inheritance. The room spun. Mom hadn't just betrayed me. She'd rewritten the family tree. Harlan the architect. Tommy, my little brother, or half-nephew, was collateral in their game. I slammed the drive into my purse, vowing they'd lose everything, starting with him. Lunch with Harlan had been recon, but now? Action. I dialed the lawyer from the car, rushed the transfers, and pulled Tommy from school, family emergency. His voice, oily as ever. Right away, Vic. Anything for you. By 2 p.m., the pieces moved. Tommy's flight from Andover landed at O'Hare in 4 hours. I'd meet him there, explain in whispers what Aunt Emma meant now. But first, the office purge. I summoned her assistant, a mousy kid named Riley with aspirations and zero spine. Clear my schedule, I said, Victoria's timbre ice cold, and shred everything on the Johnson account. Riley blinked. But Ms. Hargrove, that's the biggest. Now. She scurried off, and I rifled drawers, burner phones, payoff logs, a Glock 19 registered to V. Hargrove, home defense. Mom packed heat. Figures. I pocketed it, feeling the weight like absolution. The afternoon blurred into calls, feigned charm to clients, subtle sabotage to Harlan's allies. Delay the merger. I purred to a CFO contact. Vic says the numbers don't align. Seeds of doubt, sown deep. By 5 p.m., whispers rippled. Something's off with Hargrove today. O'Hare was a zoo, fluorescent hell under perpetual construction. Tommy emerged from baggage claim, all gangly limbs and backpack slung low, his face a mirror of mine at that age. Wary, wise beyond years. Mom, he said, spotting me. Then confusion, where's Dad? And Emma. I knelt, heart fracturing. It's me, kiddo. Emma. Long story, science fair project gone wild. Half-truth, the nanotech pitch had been temporary identity immersion for empathy training. Bullshit sold to the desperate. His eyes, Harlan's eyes, narrowed. You look like her. Sound like her. This a prank. Wish it was. I hugged him fierce, inhaling little league dirt and boy sweat. We're getting out. Away from them. He pulled back, backpack thumping. Them? Mom said you're bad news. That you stole stuff, hurt people. Lies, venomous as Harlan's scotch. She lied to protect you. But it's unraveling. Come on. Ice cream first, truth later. We hit a Chili's in the terminal, greasy sanctuary amid the roar. Over molten lava cake, I spilled. The fraud, the swap, the ledger's horrors. Tommy listened, spoon hovering, face paling. Harlan? That guy's my. What? Bio dad, maybe. But I'm your sister. Always. He nodded, slow, processing like only kids can, resilient, raw. Cool. So we screw him over. Kid, you're my people. We plotted light. Crash at my studio till the dust settled, then vanish to Milwaukee, Auntie's farm. But as we boarded the blue line back, my phone, her phone, lit up. Harlan, Vic, where's the boy? And that ledger, don't play games. Tick-tock, 48 hours. The swap's edge sharpened. Headaches pulsed, like my brain was fraying at the seams. Mom, trapped in my body, what was she doing? Burning bridges? Or scheming her way back? Dad called next, voice slurry. Vic? Tommy's school says he's gone. What's happening? Divorce proceedings, I lied smooth. He's with me now. Click. Another thread cut. Night fell as we rattled into Wicker Park, the neighborhood's hipster glow, tattoo parlors, craft breweries, a far cry from Gold Coast gloss. My studio was a shoebox, futon sagging under eviction tape, fridge humming despair. Tommy crashed on the futon, out cold by 10. I sat vigil, Glock cold in my lap, scrolling alerts. The podcaster replied, "Holy shit, Emma. This is dynamite. Publishing tomorrow." Good. Let the storm break. But Harlan's next text chilled. "I know it's you, little girl. Swaps leave traces. Meet me, or Tommy pays." Bluff? Or did the bastard have eyes everywhere? I texted back, bold, "Noon tomorrow. Your penthouse. Come alone." Sleep evaded, dreams a mash of faces. Mine, hers, Tommy's, melting like wax. Dawn brought clarity. This wasn't erasure, it was war. And in America, wars are won with lawyers, leaks, and loaded guns. 42 hours left. Harlan thought he held the cards. Fool. I was the ace up Mom's sleeve. Harlan's penthouse squatted atop the Aon Center, a glass airy surveying Chicago like a hawk over roadkill. The doorman waved me up. Victoria's face opened doors, even to the devil's lair. Elevator music droned Sinatra. New York, New York, but this was Chi-Town, flyover country with fangs. The doors parted to marble opulence. Abstract art screaming money. A bar stocked with liquors older than my sentence. Harlan lounged on a leather sectional, crystal tumbler in hand, a lion in tweed. No tie, casual threat. "Emma," he drawled, no surprise. Or should I say, impersonator? "Sit." I perched opposite, legs crossed Victoria tight, Glock heavy in my Kate Spade. "You always this welcoming to family." He chuckled, low rumble. "Family? That's Victoria's delusion. You're the glitch, the loose end she should have snipped at birth." He sipped, eyes dissecting. The serum, sloppy. Traces in her blood work from last week's physical. I own the lab. Of course. Harlan Crow, strings on everything from alderman to ER docs. Then you know it's temporary. 40 hours. Enough to bury you both. His laugh died. Bold. Stupid. That ledger? It's bait. The real dirt's on you. Juvie hacks into my servers, post-release. You think I didn't watch? Ice water in my veins. I'd scraped by hacking gigs, anonymous gigs to pay rent, but Harlan's web? Paranoia suits you. But Mom's emails? Your notes pushing her to frame me? That's public now. He leaned forward, predator close. And your leaks? They'll paint you as the vengeful psycho. Daughter returns, body snatches mom, kidnaps brother. Who's the villain then? Tommy. Shit. I'd left him fortified, burner phone, neighbor watch, but Harlan's reach was tentacles. Where is he? Safe. For now. Leverage, Emma. Always leverage. He rose, pouring me scotch unasked. Victoria was my masterpiece, sharp, ruthless. You? A knockoff. Join us. Real power. Or watch your brother learn boarding school's not so bad with a trust fund. The offer hung, temptations whisper. Power. The condo, the clout, the life she'd stolen. But Tommy's face in Chili's, trusting, flashed. No. Pass. I'm here to collect. His eyes hardened, steel. Then witness. He tapped a tablet, screen blooming security feed. My studio, Tommy on the futon, a shadow slipping through the fire escape. Heart seized. Goon, black-clad, syringe glinting. I bolted, but Harlan's hand clamped my wrist, Rolex biting. Stay? Or he gets the full dose, permanent swap. Imagine, 8-year-old in a junkie's body. Bastard. The Glock whipped out, barrel kissing his temple. Call them off. He smiled, unafraid. Shoot. Ballistics trace to Vic's gun. You're done. Stalemate, sweat beading on borrowed skin. Think, Emma. The safe, her safe, had more. The USB. Paternity. Tommy's yours. Legally, too, if I leak. His grip slackened. Micro. Bluff. Test it. I shoved the drive across the coffee table, photos spilling digital, mom's affair logs, DNA printout. Air to nothing if the world's watching. Harlan scanned, face ashen, a crack in the armor. He barked into his phone. Stand down. Now. The feed froze, shadow retreating. Relief flooded, but he pocketed the drive. Clever girl. Victoria underestimated you. Always did. I lowered the gun, but kept it out. Now, the real deal. Sign over Sterling shares to me. Reconciliation gift. Release all claims on Tommy. And confess. Publicly. Insane. Controversial as hell. Arming a criminal with corporate keys? But power's a drug, and I was hooked. He pondered, swirling scotch. And if I refuse? Leaks drop at noon. Your empire crumbles. Mine rises from the ash. A beat. Then nod. Done. But one condition. You vanish after. No more games. Deal. We drafted on his lawyer's letterhead. Ironic. Me signing as Victoria, him as the fallen king. Shares transferred. Guardianship waived. A taped confession. I coerced Victoria Hargrove into fraud. Framed her daughter. Harlan Crow, unedited. By 1 p.m., it was sealed. I left with the Glock tucked away, files zipped to the podcaster. Add this. The full truth. The blue line back was purgatory, crowds pressing like accusations. Tommy's safe, texting. All good. Dude tried the window, slipped on pizza box. LOL. Kid had grit. But victory soured en route. Headache spiking, vision blurring. The swap fraying early? Nanotech half-life shortened by stress. Studio reeked of fierce sweat. Tommy hugged fierce. You okay? Look weird. Fine. Pack. We're Milwaukee-bound tonight. Andy's farm. Cows. Quiet, a reset. But as we stuffed duffels, my phone, Victoria's, rang. Unknown, Emma? It's me. Your body. Whatever. Mom. Trapped. Voice mine but strained. What have you done? Given you your wish. Freedom. Pause. The papers are final. You're out. Her laugh cracked. You think this ends it? Harlan. Handcuffed. Confessed. Lie. Half. The tape was gold, but he'd worm-free. Silence. Then venom. You're me now. The lies, the hunger, it'll eat you. And Tommy? He's mine. Click. Chill. She was scheming, even body swapped. 36 hours. Drive to Milwaukee. For hours, then collapse. We hit I-94 at dusk, city lights fading to cornfield voids. Tommy chattered baseball dreams. I nodded, autopilot. But rear view. Headlights tailing, persistent. Harlan's? Or paranoia? Pull over at a gas station, fluorescent buzz under sodium lamps. Stay put. I told Tommy, Glock hidden in jacket. Outside, the tail idled. Black SUV, tinted. Heart thunder. Approach slow. Window rolls. Not Harlan. Dad, bleary-eyed, flask and cup holder. Emma? Vic. Goddamn, it's you. Busted. Dad. He waved me in. Your mother's called. Hysterical. Said you're possessed or some shit. And Tommy, kidnapped. Truth time, abbreviated. It's me. Swap. Revenge. She's the villain. He rubbed temples, world-weary. Knew about the fraud. Pushed her into it. Harlan did. But you? I let it happen. Coward. Confessions wait. Why? Money. Stability. For you kids. Bitter laugh. Failed that. Forgive. Controversial. Absolve the enabler? Maybe. Help us now. He glanced back. Harlan's goons inbound. Took a tracker off her car. Betrayal layered. We ditched the Audi for his truck, Milwaukee forgotten. Back to the city, underground. 30 hours. The confrontation wasn't over. It was evolving. And I was becoming the monster I hated. Or worse, her equal. Dad's truck smelled of stale cigars and regret, rattling through industrial backstreets toward a safe house he'd prepped years ago, a derelict warehouse in Pilsen, murals of Aztec warriors guarding rusting doors. Tommy bunked on a cot amid dusty crates, out like a light. Dad and I huddled over lukewarm takeout tacos, the Glock between us like a loaded question. Harlan's old school, Dad said, voice gravel from decades of denial. Chicago mob ties from the 80s, laundered through real estate. Sterling's just the tip. I chewed mechanical, mind racing. And you? Knew all along. He nodded, shame etching deeper lines. Loved her fire. Ignored the smoke. When she framed you, I signed off. Thought it'd pass. Pass? I lost years, Dad. Friends. Future. Words sharp as the salsa. Controversial choice. Forgive the father who failed, or cut him loose like Mom. He met my eyes, hers. Make me pay. Use me. Opportunity. Then talk. Everything. Dawn broke gray as he spilled. Harlan's network. Judges in pockets. Feds on payroll. A hit squad for problems. The swap? He'd greenlit the lab. Testing on desperate souls for executive empathy training. Mom volunteered me, unwitting, via spiked coffee at a reconciliation lunch. I'd skipped. No. Wait. That was last month. The serum wasn't random. It was targeted. Rage reignited. You dosed me. Desperation. To understand her side. Bull. Control. Tommy stirred. What's the plan, sis? Hit Harlan where it hurts. Exposure. Dad had contacts. A rogue SEC agent. Hungry for a bust. We leaked the confession tape, ledger scans, paternity bomb. By 10 a.m., headlines brewed. Wall Street Titan's dark secret. Framed daughter, illegitimate heir. Harlan's response. Radio silence. Then a burner call. You little bitch. The board's convening. Resign as Vic, or Tommy's school gets a visitor. Leverage war. I countered. Resign yourself, or the mob ties go public. We got names, dates. Bluff. Dad's intel was partial, but it landed. Midnight. The club. Neutral ground. Risky as hell. Pilsen to Oak Brook at rush hour. Gridlock purgatory. We parked blocks away, Dad circling his lookout, Tommy with him. Stay low, kid. Glock tucked in my waistband. I strode in like Victoria owning the room. The club was subdued, power players nursing hangovers. Harlan at our booth, flanked by two suits, lawyers or muscle. Emma. Sit. Your circus has my attention. No games. Sign this. I slid papers, full divestment, confession affidavit, Tommy's adoption to me. Legal sever from them. He scanned, lip curling. Melodramatic. You think this sticks? With the leaks? Yeah. My phone buzzed. Podcaster. Story live. Shares tanking 20%. His face. Thunder. You destroyed us. You destroyed me. Voice cracked. Mine raw? The suits shifted. Hands twitched to jackets. Controversial beat. Pull the trigger? End it here, blood on oak? No. Too easy, tour. Sign. Or the next drops your offshore accounts. IRS Christmas. He signed. Pen stabbing paper. Victory? Hollow. As I rose, he murmured. Victoria's proud. Twisted, but proud. Sick. The suits parted. I exited to Dad's truck. Papers clutched like talismans. But en route back, sirens wailed. Cops. Lights flashing. Pull over. Bullhorn bark. Victoria Hargrove, you're under arrest. Fraud, kidnapping, assault. Cuffs clicked on my wrists, her wrists. Harlan's counterpunch. Tipped the PD, painting me the madwoman. Station house. Fluorescent interrogation. Coffee like motor oil. Detective Ruiz, jaded Latino with a noble stare. Ms. Hargrove. Or should I say, impersonator? Your daughter confessed. Body swap? Nanotech. Sounds like a Lifetime movie gone wrong. I spilled. The frame, the swap, Harlan's web. Evidence. The papers, drive, seized. Check the leaks. It's real. She leaned in. And the gun in your purse? Registered to you. Prints match. Mom. In my body, she'd planted it, framed back. Genius, vicious. 18 hours left. The swaps pull tugged, skin itching like molting. Dad bailed me. His name's still on the trusts, but Tommy? Held for safety. Family services, they said. Heart gutted. Night fell in pills and shadows. Us three in the warehouse, tension thick. Tommy, we fight. Always. Dad, I called the SEC guy. Raid incoming on Harlan. Midnight brought chaos. Feds storming Sterling. Harlan in cuffs on live news. Mom, too. In my body, raging at cameras. She's stolen my life. Absurd theater. But Twist's knife, Ruiz called. DNA on the gun? Yours, Emma. And a witness, your father, says you threatened Victoria. Dad, betrayal redux. He hung head. Harlan offered immunity. For all of us. If I flip, cowardice is cost. Controversial? Shoot him? No. Tie him up. Leave for feds. You're out. Tommy cried. I held him. 12 hours. The swap reversed soon. Back to my skin, my mess. But Harlan's empire crumbled. Mom exposed. Revenge? Pyrrhic. Dawn. Sirens again. Feds, not cops. Emma Hargrove. You're cleared. Harlan's singing. Full confession. Relief. Tommy hugged. But as the nanotech faded, a final call. Mom. Voice hers again. You win, baby. But the paperwork? I forged it back. The condo's mine. Tommy's too. Liar. Or not. The deeds double-crossed? The reversal hit like a freight train on the L tracks. Mid-morning in the warehouse, sunlight slanting through cracked windows like Judgment Day beams. My skin, real skin, crawled, bones shifting with liquid fire, the nanotech unraveling its spell. I collapsed to the concrete, Tommy's screams echoing. Sis, what's happening? Victoria's body sloughed away, inch by agonizing inch, until I was me again. Emma, scarred and slight, thrift scars and all. The power suit hung loose, Louboutins comically oversized. Dad untied, regret in his eyes. Help me up. It's over. Not yet. Phone check. News exploded. Sterling scandal. Chairman confesses to decade-long fraud ring. Harlan's face, mugshot pale, spilling on camera. Coercion, the frame. Even Mom's unwitting role. Shares cratered, board dissolved. Justice, raw and roaring. But Mom's call not. We hit a payphone, untraceable. In a talk area, Pozole steaming comfort. She answered, voice silk over static. Emma, back to the gutter? Free. You. Laughter, brittle. Feds have me. But you? The papers hold. Tommy's mine, grandmother's rights. Bull. I'd double-check the lawyer. Transfers ironclad. Unless. Her forgery. Liar. Am I? Check the fine print, darling. I always plan ahead. Click. Panic clawed. Dad, she's bluffing. Harlan's deal covers us. Tommy, wide-eyed. What now? Milwaukee. For real. We piled into the truck. 94 northbound. Corn whispering secrets. But at the state line, my burner buzzed. Lawyer, Ms. Hargrove? Complication. Victoria filed counterclaims this morning. Custody hearing, tomorrow. She claims you're unstable. Swap delusions. Harlan's parting gift. Psych eval planted, painting me the unhinged one. Controversial crossroads. Fight in court, drag Tommy through mud? Or run, become the fugitive mom accused? We hold up at Auntie's, sprawling dairy farm. Silos like sentinels under Wisconsin stars. Cows load lullabies. Tommy chased fireflies. Boy joy unbroken. Aunt Clara, steel-haired widow, stay. Heal. Night council. Dad, sober for once. I testify for you. Full truth. Forgiven. Risky. Trust the enabler? Try me. Court dawned in Milwaukee's federal building, wood-paneled like a coffin. Mom, bailed and Botoxed, faced off across the aisle. Her eyes mine, but victorious gleam. Harlan absent, singing for leniency. Her lawyer, slick. Ms. Hargrove Sr. seeks protection for the minor. The defendant, her daughter, has a history of violence, fraud, even identity theft via experimental drugs. Gasps. My turn. Papers. Leaks. Harlan's tape. Dad testified, voice cracking. I failed her. Both. But Emma's the victim. Mom's cross. Lies. She's always been troubled. Jealous. Twist dropped thin. Judge's gavel paused by a courier. Fresh evidence. Harlan's addendum confession. Victoria Hargrove masterminded the frame. Paternity fraud on the boy. All to secure assets. Courtroom erupted. Mom blanched. Her lawyer stammered. Judge, custody to Emma. Pending investigation. Ms. Hargrove Sr. remanded. Chains on her. Poetic. As bailiffs led her, she hissed. This isn't over, Emma. Blood's blood. Outside, Tommy hugged. We won. Twist ending, kid. But the real reversal? Harlan's final play, leaked post-sentencing. He'd swapped 2 years back, tested the serum on arrival, buried the body in a suicide. Mom knew, covered. The powerful devour their own. We drove south, not fleeing, reclaiming. Chicago waited. My name on the deeds, Sterling's remnants to dismantle. A podcast deal from the leaks. Dad. Community service, redemption arc Tommy. Baseball camps, no boarding schools. Months blurred. Therapy in Wicker Park parks. Fall leaves crunching confessions. I testified, clean slate emerging. Mom. 5 years, white-collar wing. Letters pleading reconciliation. I burned them. But the debatable end. On her release, do I visit? Offer grace, or slam the door? Forgiveness, or eternal grudge? America loves its underdogs, but hates its mirrors. Me? I chose the farm for holidays. Tommy's laughed the anchor. Revenge granted her wish, freedom from baggage, but chained me to choices. In the end, the swap taught, we're all ghosts in someone's skin. And sometimes, to win, you become the monster. Or maybe, just maybe, you break the cycle. What do you think? Hero, or just another Hargrove?